Quick day. You can ask any questions you guys want this morning because first I'm cleaning my water. This is always, look, the reason I'm doing these videos is to kind of show you guys how everything's done in a very simple manner so that way hopefully it helps you guys. That's kind of the whole purpose for this. Literally for free, actually. A lot of people out there, including doctors and naturopaths, they're either preaching the same thing or charge you for it. Here I'm just trying to show you for free, but I actually think that a lot of my methods work better because they seem to just do one or the other. I tend to combine stuff, and I'm combining the cleanest water, which is what I'm doing right now. Right now, I'm making the cleanest water, and I'm making the cleanest water you have to carbon distill it. I mean, that's just the only way you're going to get all viruses, all bacteria, all parasites, and then on top of it, all the real crazy chemicals. By the way, I have to tell you, I'm not making any claims for or against any product. I'm not giving you any medical advice today. But this is how you clean water. I mean, all you got to do is look. See, this is the big thing about my personality is you just have to look at data. Some people like to put their name out there and be like, "Oh, I'm doctor this, or doctor that." But you know what? I've seen so many of these people be wrong, and I don't know why they don't follow the data. They manipulate data to try to make it look a certain way, and I just don't quite understand that. And I think personally it's just because they want to make a square peg fit in a round. People want their beliefs to be real, and for me, I never cared about that because when I was in super crazy pain and super sick, I didn't care about my belief systems. I cared about what was real and what was true and what would work. And yeah, I tried all sorts of different methods and had to, eventually, that's what I ended up doing. I ended up relying on data. I ended up starting to read and then creating my own protocols. And that's actually what ended up working. And that's why I share it with you guys. And yeah, I don't have all the backing and I don't promote 100 different products. And I know there's a lot of money to be made because I've turned it down a lot of times from a lot of different companies because their products suck and I just won't promote stuff that I don't use and that sucks. And I realized by becoming a YouTuber and doing everything that I've done, the corruption and even called bureaucracy within the world of health. That's my own personal opinion. I'm not going to throw anybody specifically under the bus or anything, but it's better for me to just tell you what works rather than going down the path of what doesn't work. And so that's how simple it is. But, that's just the way that I do it. So this is the way you clean water, guys, and this is the best way to clean water. Like I said, it doesn't matter what anybody says. The facts are the facts. And according to lab reports, and I mean, it all makes sense once you understand it. And I just give you guys the answers. It's much easier for both of us. Because when I was looking for answers, that's what I really, it's funny. I created a YouTube channel that I wish existed when I was trying to get better. That's literally what I've done here. I just created a channel like that, but it's so tough because everybody has difference of opinion, and that's what I mean. You need facts. We don't need opinions. We need actual data because it surprises you. It really does surprise you. Some of the things that you end up discovering, things that you think should be good but aren't. I've seen multiple scientists be absolutely baffled in Japan too, especially in regards to hydrogen, of course. By the way, I'm going to put 1 drop of minerals. This is how easy it is. There's almost no salt in this. They removed the salt, which is actually what you want. You just want the minerals. But I just put 1 drop in there. It's not a huge deal for my water. I put most of the minerals in my smoothie. Why the smoothie? Because data shows that you actually absorb your minerals better when they're paired with fiber from fruits and vegetables. That's hence the reason the fruits and vegetables have minerals in them, but we all know that they're kind of deficient in that stuff, so I add it. And look at this. I got some broccoli sprouts. I've been sprouting them for days now, and I'm so happy because they're very anti-cancerous, very good for you. I like having them in my smoothies, but I just don't always have them made because they take days to make. And broccoli sprouts. Okay, well, let's go ahead and start moving forward with making this smoothie today because I got off to a late start yesterday and I ended up going for a super awesome hike. Probably should have recorded it for you guys, but there wasn't actually any internet out there. Okay, and this is how you make this extremely powerful smoothie. So what I did already, you guys didn't see it in camera because I did it before I turned it on, is I loaded up on hydrogen water, empty stomach. I do that about 20-30 minutes before meals, and that includes this particular smoothie. This is my meal. Now, the reason I'm using this powder, there's a specific reason. It's not like I'm just throwing some random powder in there, and it's not for, oh, more protein. That's, look at the data, please, on that. It's, you know, that's a really big statement. It's for nutrients. This stuff has, now, I don't take a multivitamin, and yet when I've had my blood work, because I'm really big on having my blood work to make sure that what I've been doing works. And basically, it's funny because the doctors are always shocked at my nutrient levels not being deficient, and I don't even take a multivitamin. They're like, that's impossible. Well, that's because I use this. What I'm actually doing, this is all made from food. Why food? Well, because the data shows that our body assimilates food better than anything. Of course, if you want some, I guess you can go to iShopPurium.com. There is a $50 coupon if you want, which is Uprising144K. Help support the channel and pay all the blood work and everything that I do. But again, this has all these nutrients in it, just like a multivitamin, but it's all from food. And so, you know, like kill two birds with one stone, as they say. Okay, this is raw cacao, organic. That's all it is, just some raw cacao. Yeah, it tastes good. That's why I'm putting it in there. But it also appears, well, it has multiple health benefits. But the one that interests me is that it appears to activate stem cells, guys. Let me tell you something right now. You want to activate some of the stem cells. Okay, and with that being said, oh no, I think I just realized. Yep, I just realized. I hope I'm not out of greens because this is the foundation to my smoothie. So you're going to have to give me 1 second because 3 stories down, I have another refrigerator where sometimes I put stuff in and there's no room in this refrigerator because I do buy a lot of produce. So let's see if there's any in here and if I get lucky today. And is it my lucky day? It is my lucky day. Look at that. What else? Anything else? Anything else we need? Why not? I'll grab a bag of blueberries. Because blueberries are extremely good for you. You know, they're very good for your vascular system. They appear to be anti-cancerous, especially anti-angiogenic, and so many more benefits. Look at this. I get to do my workout running upstairs. And yes, it's a good thing. Okay, so moving on with the smoothie. And you know, the reason I actually invented this smoothie, I know there's a lot of recipes out there, and it's fine. You know, it's cool. I think they're all great. You know, and I always say, hey, modify your smoothie if you need to, depending on the ingredients, your budget, everything else. Now, for me, I don't know. You know, it's funny. I kind of feel like I got a little lucky because I've obviously created this smoothie. Nobody makes one like this because, well, because I'm the one who created it. But what's interesting about this smoothie is I'm actually beginning to realize this thing is more amazing than what I realized. But it's not that my smoothie is amazing. It's that these things that I'm putting in there are amazing. These fruits and vegetables that we're about to throw in here. Just trying to pick out any little last bits of this thing that might look okay, but pretty sure that's about it. Okay, now the next super greens that I'm going to put in there. Why super greens? Well, you know, most people don't get enough vegetables. The data is pretty clear. Vegetables are amazing. The phytonutrients, the enzymes, the antioxidants, the chlorophyll, on and on it goes. But I'm not going to do too many, even though I want to do a bunch, because I need to leave a little room for some other magic ingredients we're going to put in here today. And I'm a little surprised sometimes how expensive the greens are, actually. It's funny because you'd think it'd be one of the cheaper things, and it's probably one of the more expensive things that I put in my smoothie. Here's another magic ingredient. It has been shown to be anti-cancerous. Lots of really good fiber, and that's flax seeds. Flax seeds are, and I get them whole. People are always asking, I get them whole because I like when they grind up, I believe that all these things start leaving them, which means that I don't want them ground up. I believe that they're better for me this way, but you know, because they begin to oxidize more and you lose a lot of amazing potent properties to them. But yeah, do some research on that. They have like all these crazy nutrients. I can't remember them all. I mean, there's so much in the world of all the little things. I tend to look at the big stuff, the big picture. And if I know that it's good because of something I read, then I just remember, okay, this is something good. Just like this ingredient, hydrogen chia seeds right here. That's going to be another good ingredient. Lots of fiber. You're going to notice a pattern here, and there is a pattern. There's a pattern of lots of water in the food. There's going to be a pattern of obviously lots of minerals, because all the minerals in all these fruits and vegetables, but not just water, but fiber. If you want to read the data on fiber, unbelievable. And I feel like not only do we not talk about it, and it's not spoken about enough, it's not even just that. If you really look, this is almost like, I don't want to say that the government's trying to get in on this, but it's kind of weird because there were studies done a long time ago that basically show that the human body requires a massive amount of fiber. And all the things that fiber does, I mean, people always buying these products. See, that's the big thing you're going to notice. That's the reason I don't promote a lot of products. That's where the money's at, right? Everybody, all these companies are like, hey, promote our product, but it's like, but I don't use that, and I don't think it's even good for you, so I won't do it, right? But the thing about fiber, like for example, fiber is really good at detoxing the body. All these people buy these supplements and different things, and like for heavy metals, guess what? Did you know that lots of fiber will appears to pull out heavy metals out of your body? It appears to help your body actually detox. And you do think about it, the way that it moves the bowels, the way it sweeps through the bowels. You know how important it is to keep your bowels clean? This is why I drink a lot of the hydrogen water, neutralizing free radicals, and doing all the amazing things that hydrogen does. But then on top of it, because I already drank it, this is my morning protocol that I do basically every single morning. Then it's fiber. And it's so hard to get enough of it. I mean, who's going to eat this? Look at this. Who's going to eat this for breakfast? Nobody's going to eat a handful of super greens for breakfast. And that's how I had to discover. I'm like, you know what? I got to find a way to get this in my body, because I know I'm not going to sit down and eat a salad for breakfast. I just know I'm not going to do that. And then, I started trying to figure out the smoothie thing. And of course, it turned into this super powerful, just powerhouse, because this thing, the thing that's impressed me the most is when I get my blood work. When I get my blood work, and then I have really doctors, just they can't even believe their own eyes, or because I've had it so many times in different places, I've even had phone calls from doctors asking me what the heck I'm doing. Like that's when you know your blood's looking amazing. They're like, I just wanted to know what you were doing. And a lot of them, it's funny, a lot of them want to do it either for their patients, but I would say that the majority of them who contact me are not looking to do it so they can apply it at work. They're actually wanting to do it because they want to do it for somebody in their family. And that's so interesting to me. Having a doctor, and I kid you not, multiple doctors, it hasn't just been one or anything, multiple doctors who contact me, even people who are kind of more well known out there who, have their own like practices, and they actually ask me for advice, and then they, try to apply it, and of course, they end up using a lot of my methods, but I'm kind of behind the scenes. Nobody really knows where these ideas came from, because I'm not super well known. There's a few people here who found me, but not much. And I would take on, honestly, any challenger, like all these YouTube channels, all these supposed doctors or naturopaths or some type of healer. And when I say that I would take on any challenge, would be like, take some patients with arthritis, and or let's see whose blood looks better by different methods. I really would. And I'm not one to want to do things like that. But the reason I'm willing to is because I know it works. And I feel like there's too much arguing about what it takes to heal the body. It's almost like losing weight. That's another one. Like America has some of the most most obese country. It's between America and Mexico. And there people yet are continuing to argue all the time about diet, and I believe America sells more books on how to lose weight than anybody in the world, and yet they're also the most overweight country in the world. And I find that kind of odd and almost peculiar and almost, dare I say, kind of funny in some weird way, right? And for me, the answer is just super simple. And yet, there's how many books? How many books do you have to write? You know, because I think you can put it all in just like less than 5 pages. Like it's not hard to lose weight. You just have to, dare I say, be a little disciplined, follow some rules. Just so you know, I have created a bunch of rules that I personally live by. People who know me and close to me kind of laugh about them sometimes, but rules are there for a reason, and I set these rules for myself. I don't set them for anybody else. I do them for myself, and I do them because I'm trying to improve me. Okay, guys, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make me better, and I love when I feel good. I love being in my own skin. I love being in my body, and when my body doesn't feel good, I hate being in my body. I don't like it to feel, in pain or swollen or, all the different things that can happen when your body just doesn't feel like it's working right. And it's extremely frustrating. But I'll tell you one thing, when your body's feeling good, it's a good place to be, you know. Okay, let's see here. Internet Explorer says, "Hey Greg, what kind of green do you use? I typically use baby spinach." I change. I flop back and forth between these two different types of greens, but this is the one that I really like to use, but I don't, and I used to use more regularly, but I backed off a little bit, and that's power greens. Here, I'll just show you real quick. Power greens, which is baby chard, baby spinach, baby kale. The other one that I use, I don't have it in here right now. I do have it downstairs, but I'm not going to go back there and get it. But yeah, I just kind of switch it up. But I do like, here's something I'm going to use today. I do like beet leaves quite a bit. And so I will buy the beets that have the leaves because I think they're pretty, but also, I always know, I get these gut instincts all the time. Some people are like, maybe you're a medical medium. I'm like, yeah, because people bring that guy up all the time. Like if he was really a medium, I think he would have known a lot more about water and hydrogen a long time ago. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, let's get some more leaves here. These leaves have apparently, they have a lot of good nutrients, but the special part about them is that they appear to contain vitamin D. Vitamin D is, now it's probably a small amount. It's probably one of the only nutrients that I do supplement. You guys know I'm not big on pills, but I have some liquid drops that I put in this smoothie, and I'll show you how I do that in a minute. But that's one of the most important nutrients that you just can't get from food. It's just not going to happen. Are there foods out there that have it? Yes. Are you going to get enough of that nutrient in your body? Probably not. And a lot of the foods that do have it at higher levels are foods that I definitely would not want to eat on a regular basis. You know what? I forgot. I got to go grab my apron. I know I'm going to need it. And so, yeah, vitamin D is just super important. So those are the greens that I like to use. Super good for you. And what's the best multivitamin, Sung's Young? Okay, so Young, here's the thing. The best multivitamin is what I just showed you. I literally just put it in here. It's a powder. Why do I do that instead of some random pill? Well, there's multiple reasons why I don't use just some multivitamin pill. The reason that I don't do it is because one of the things I noticed this was back in the day, many, 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 many years ago before I perfected my craft. And I'm going to add some hydrogen water right now, by the way, into the smoothie. So the hydrogen starts soaking into my fruits and vegetables. Now, if you don't have hydrogen water, then you can just put clean water. It's going to be second best. So I fill it up as I go. So the best multivitamin is not technically a vitamin at all. Have you guys ever taken, now think about this and comment below here and let me know if you've actually experienced this, because this is how I realized something was not right. When I would take a multivitamin, my urine would change to really weird colors. And I started reading about what the heck was going on. And what I ultimately discovered is, yeah, you take a multivitamin that's loaded with a bunch of stuff, but the truth is your body is not going to really, see, your body doesn't absorb things like in just a few seconds or a few minutes, and it's almost like a time release, like there's a rhythm to it, kind of like, let me think of a good example. You know, it's kind of like losing weight. You don't lose weight in just one day. You know, it takes time and you have to get in a rhythm, like a life. That's why they call it a lifestyle, you know. And basically what happens is you pop this pill, you get flooded with all this stuff, and your body's not going to be able to absorb it all. Okay. And so what ends up happening, and this is a very magical ingredient right here. This is natto. This stuff inside of it, in my opinion, is crap. This is why I throw it away. I'm not going to keep that. This part is just little Japanese mustard. This one I will keep. Just once in a while, I use it for other types of stuff. Why do I get the feeling that I'm missing something? I have the feeling that I'm missing something in my smoothie. Let's look real quick, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. What could it be? What could it be? Oh, there it is. See? You know, it's funny. I get these instincts all the time, and sometimes I just never know what they are, but I've been trying to listen to it more now. Hydrogen raisins. Sun-dried raisins soaked in hydrogen water. It's absolutely amazing. I'm going to put that in there. Add not only sweetness, it has natural boron. Boron being very important for multiple things, but one of the bigger ones is what people call sex hormones. For both men and women, it's extremely good for your testosterone and estrogen. And I've been playing around with this mineral for a while now, and I gotta tell you, like somebody was just asking me, I think it was yesterday, they're like, hey, are you been working out? And it's like, you know, I've actually been playing with this testosterone thing and even messed around. Just different people that I know who want, and just people who've commented and emailed me throughout the years. People wanted to know what you could do for libido. Well, combining the hydrogen, because hydrogen moves the blood, and that's super important. But what's in the blood too? You want that combination. It's all about the combo. And basically, it appears to be, I mean, these methods that I'm using appear to help with all that. Even muscle production, like, you know, getting muscular, even that's something that I haven't even tried to do. And I know that I could, but it's just not like a huge priority for me. Sorry, I'm making my hydrogen raisins again because I just used them up. So this is how I make them. So I'll just let it sit there for a second. Let's keep going with this. This is walnuts soaked in hydrogen water. Now, again, walnuts, anything that's dried, like raisins or the nuts, I put them in water like this overnight because it soaks up the water. And now they're going to bring water into your system. So that's part of the key to the secret to health that I almost hear nobody talking about either. This is kind of one of my methods also that I created. And walnuts have been shown to be highly anti-cancerous. And of course, they have really good oils and fats and proteins and all sorts of good stuff too. But just about everything in here has proteins. Now, but I think the quality of protein is what really matters. And I like to combine it with antioxidants, phytonutrients, especially fiber. I know I was going on and on about fiber there. And I'm telling you, if you knew the things that it does for you, you'd be into it too. So here we go. You know what? I'm just going to add some. I was going to wait for these to be fully sprouted, but they're pretty good. Let's go ahead and just add some for today. I love broccoli sprouts. Again, if anybody's want to avoid cancer or has it in their family or whatever, you're going to want to be doing some broccoli sprouts. For sure. For shiesly. Okay, let's move on to my next magical ingredient that has also been shown to be anti-cancerous. In fact, it shows to be a lot of things, and that's this one right here, natto. This is so ridiculously full of protein. I gotta tell you, I almost have to be concerned about how much protein I'm getting. Now, if I was working with a pro athlete or something, oh man, they'd be going bonkers over these smoothies. But back to that multivitamin question. So basically what I discovered is that the body, what it actually appears that you're probably doing by popping multivitamin pills is that you're probably, and I'm just giving you my own personal opinion, and this is based on just a lot of research, you're most likely straining your kidneys. And by the way, to activate the natto, you got to stir it 100 times according to the data. Again, I'm a data guy. This is what we have to go off of. Now, that's why I don't like doing multivitamin pills. And also, the studies are really clear. They show that our body assimilates food better. So what did I do? I got a powder that was designed, it wasn't even designed to be a multivitamin, but it was designed to give you all the nutrients that you need if you're not going to be able to eat a meal. And I checked all the ingredients in it, and they were all food, which is what I was looking for, all organic and super clean. There's other organic products that I've seen. I see the lab reports, and they're just not as clean. And even though they're organic, so just because two things are organic doesn't mean that it's magically super clean. So it depends on the companies. And this specific company, Purium, just has really done an amazing job about sourcing their stuff, super, super clean stuff, regularly testing. And then I started using that product, and I've already had amazing blood work for years now, but it did seem to take it to another level. And I actually love this stuff. It smells so good. It smells super fresh. I really do like their products, and so that's why I use it. And then that's the only thing that I will show you guys is the stuff that I actually use. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and add this natto. Again, super good fiber, super good protein, rich in vitamin K, has a wonderful enzyme in it called nattokinase or nattokinase, which I prefer to get from my food, not, typically, unless there's some new technology out there that would be impressive, but normally from food is what I like to get it. It also shows to be kind of a natural statin, which I utilize with the hydrogen. And I also utilize that with the beets I'm about to put in, because that causes the body to produce nitric oxide. And that causes it to open up the blood vessels. You move the blood with the hydrogen. And then you put something like natto, which just thins the blood just a little bit, which is good, believe it or not. It's because you want that blood moving to all the nicks and crannies, guys. But moving the blood to all the nicks and crannies, as great as that is, because we have something called ghost vessels. If you've never read about that, go ahead and Google that, read about that. But here's the thing. When you're moving the blood and getting to all these magical places, the goal is to get absorption, and the goal is to have proper nutrients in the blood. And taking a multivitamin is very different than when you take it with fiber. This was all discovered, and like I said, I would say almost no doctor knows this because it's, again, really new data. See, if you're not going to learn this stuff if you go to medical school, you have to just read the latest science all the time. The world has changed, guys. I educate myself, and I use that data to create my protocols. And then I realize how good they work, and then I'm like, wow. And I gain more and more confidence in the things that I've learned. It just took time, a long time, actually. And so basically, when you use fiber, when you combine these nutrients, as I am, with a bunch of fiber from fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and beans, that's literally everything in this thing, that basically what happens is the fiber, and this is some of the stuff that the Japanese have discovered, because it ended up bringing upon discoveries that we didn't know about the human body itself. The fiber actually helps with almost like a time release, so that you can actually not only absorb minerals and nutrients better, but on top of that, it like releases slowly, so you can actually have time. And it doesn't seem to be toxic to the kidneys. This is again my personal opinions and no medical advice, but it doesn't appear to really strain the kidneys or be toxic to them the way that a multivitamin might be. So the only thing is, though, as amazing as that powder is that I put in there, there's probably one concern that I have with it. And it's not a huge concern, but it is a concern. And the concern is that although it has all these great nutrients, and then I combine it with all these fruits and vegetables and everything that I do, you're about to see me add a few more magical ingredients here. The only concern, because it's from food, and as I told you guys at the beginning of all this, you are not going to get enough vitamin D from your food. And so the same is true of this powder, and that's why you'll notice that vitamin D is the only real thing that I'm going to add beyond that powder. That powder is, again, it covers all the other bases as far as I can see, and my blood reflects that. But you're going to see how I have to move forward in regards to having to add this vitamin D here in a second. Okay, let's see here. So in the end, multivitamin, the best multivitamin in my personal opinion, which is not even technically supposed to be sold as a vitamin, is something called Power Shake from Purium, from the website's called iShopPurium.com. And you do get a $50 discount with the code, so that's pretty good. And it helps support the channel, which is good, because the more support I get for the channel, the more that I will be able to make more videos really for you guys, or more, because right now, obviously you can notice my videos aren't super special. All I do is set up a tripod, set up the camera. I don't have anybody helping me with this stuff. And if you guys know anything, I'm not much of a computer guy. So I don't know how a lot of this stuff works. And maybe someday I will get some help and maybe do a better job. But in my opinion, the most important thing is the information, the data, and you don't need all fancy editing and all this stuff, but I don't know how to do any of that, just so you guys know. I don't know how to do any editing or work computers or any of that stuff. What I do know how to do is work a pair of scissors and get me some fruits and vegetables in my body. Get regular. That's the other thing. Like I said, if I went, you know what, if you guys really want, I will pull up all the stuff about fiber, but man, the list is long. It's even good for your heart. One of the number one killers, heart disease. Think about how if it keeps your GI clean, because that's responsible for almost 80% of your immune system. Super important. Feeding super good gut bacteria. There's, again, more people wanting to buy, probiotics, prebiotics, whatever, all this stuff for the gut. And that's great, but you should read the data on that. It's not, and I mean long-term data, not short-term data. If you notice, one thing about me too is I'm more of a long-term data guy, because short-term data is deceiving. And a lot of companies, and again, I'm not going to name any because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but a lot of deceiving data. And so I have to really dig, and I have dug, and this is how I've come up with all these techniques, but then I have to see them work. And that's the one thing that, not only did I see them work, what shocked me the most was how good they worked. I didn't expect that. I'll tell you guys right now, I did not expect to see, people's blood pressure, diabetes, glaucoma, macular degeneration, arthritis, just thing after thing after thing go away. And again, I'm not making any medical claims. Definitely consult your physician if you're having any issues. I'm simply sharing what people have written to me, and even some stuff that I have actually seen. And it was very, very, very impressive. And, blah, 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 guys. Blah, 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 blah. It's so simple. I say it's simple, but you know what? It's simple for me at this point, but I know it's not simple for everybody. That's why I'm doing these videos. A lot of people don't know the best way to clean water. A lot of people don't know the best way to make hydrogen water. That's probably got to be the most difficult thing for people to really learn, because I have learned, it's become like practically my specialty. And I'm very disappointed in the hydrogen world, to be honest, because I love hydrogen and I don't like to see what is being said out there. I think that, well, I've seen it. I personally think there's just massive amount of misleading information. Let's put it that way. And I've done my absolute best to try to get you guys the best information possible. And believe it or not, there's people out there who have literally gone out and talked about me on shows saying that I give the worst or most misleading information about hydrogen, which is just so hilarious because I can totally back it up. The data is like, the proof is it's right there. What people don't realize apparently is that hydrogen's already been medically approved and is already being used in hospitals. And I'm going off the absolute latest data. That's what I go off of. I don't go off of opinions. I don't go off of which product offers me, the most money to try to promote it. That's not, and I've turned down numerous companies and a lot of money, unfortunately, but you can't be giving people the wrong information, at least in my opinion. But there's a lot of people out there who do. There's a lot of popular people out there who do. We're talking people with millions of subscribers. And I don't know, they promote, gotta say, 100 or 200 products. I've seen it. And I won't name anybody because, like I said, it's not, sometimes people think like, oh, why do you dislike that person? I'm like, it's not about the person. I don't dislike the people. I want the best for people. That's my thing. I want the best for people. And I want them to actually get healthy because I myself have suffered a great deal. And because I found something, and I did make, okay, this is embarrassing to share this, but when I was super sick and I was on this couch and I wanted to watch TV, I went to lift up the remote. I was in so much pain, even my wrists and my fingers hurt so bad that I literally couldn't work the remote control. It just hurt too much. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even get the TV going, and I was super frustrated. And you can imagine, young guy who in this level of pain where I couldn't even walk, and it was just very, very depressing, is what it was. And when we're at our lowest points, sometimes we pray. And I prayed, and I just prayed and I said, look, God, if you can help me find. Now, see, I didn't say, hey, God, fix me. I didn't, for whatever reason, I don't know why I didn't say that. I just said, if you can just show me, guide me along the path to figure out not only how to heal my body, but I'm only assuming that whatever would do it for me will do it for others too. And just help me. And then here's probably where I kind of went wrong. I said, if you do that, if you can help me and I'm able to heal, I promise that I will share this information with others. And when I say I went wrong is because once I found what I found, that's why I had to start my YouTube channel. It's not like, to be honest, there's other things that I wish I would have done a YouTube channel about different things. I wanted to do some things, some different subjects. I didn't really want to go down the health route because health was never really my forte. If you guys want to know the truth, that's health. I had no interest in health. I did not want to read scientific papers. I did not want to do this. I was so reluctant to do it. But I reached a point in my sickness that I had no choice, and I hated it. And but I did it. And the more I started learning, then I would start applying that. And the more videos I watched about certain YouTubers, not all of them, but a lot of them, their information was just completely different than it was wrong, basically, in my personal opinion, completely wrong as compared to when you actually look at data. But then, of course, data is tricky too, because then you saw short-term data, long-term data. I don't like I can't even say the word, mechanistic, whatever it is, data, where you just talk about mechanisms. I just want to see outcomes. I just want to know somebody, hey, they had high blood pressure, they use this, did the blood pressure go down? That's all I care. I don't care about trying to figure out why. I just need to know that it worked. Like, I don't need to know why it specifically worked. And sometimes I will look at some of that data, but it's not like my huge thing. I want things to keep them simple so that we can all understand them. You don't have to be a biologist or a scientist or a doctor to try to understand all this stuff, and keep it real simple for people. Like, I can just say, hey, look, carrots are really good for you. It's like, do we need to know the mechanisms of what it does in the body? I know that they're rich in antioxidants. I know they got a lot of fiber. I know they have a lot of vitamins, specifically vitamins that are also good for your eyes. That's why everybody's always saying, like, oh, carrots are good for your eyes, and blah, blah, blah. But we just have to keep it simple and know, okay, I should put this stuff in my body. And it's cheap and easy to access. I get a whole organic bag of carrots. And then, of course, you look at the data on pesticides. They're no good. So then I start trying to do as much organic as possible. And it just goes on and on like that. And, then, of course, this world is, dare I say, quite corrupt. And even in the health industry. And I discovered that, too, because I tried so many things. I just realized, guys, I forgot to put a very special ingredient in here. Can you believe this? Okay, this is what we're going to do. I know how we're going to fix this. Okay, so this is what happens when you run out of room in your blender, because I am clearly out of room. This is what we're going to do. You guys want to see how I overcompensate? Because look, I got my magic hydrogen chia seeds here. And these magic hydrogen chia seeds, which are filled with more protein, more minerals, so many more nutrients. Put some more hydrogen water in this sucker. Let's do that. Why not, right? And we're going to blend this up, and what I'm going to do, I'll show you how we're going to get the chia seeds to fit. Okay, here's the big secret. Here's one of them. Remember the minerals I added to the water at the beginning of the video? And I don't put a lot of them. I think I only put like 1 or 2 drops. But here's where I put my minerals, guys. Here's where I put like, I don't know, 30, 40 drops? I don't know, I put a good amount in there. The salt is removed though, okay? And this is going to be the magic nutrients right here, the guy who's asking about the multivitamin. Okay, I'm going to blend this up. It's going to make a little bit of noise. Take out the compost, start getting the jars ready, and I'm going to show you how we add those chia seeds. Look at that. The blender will actually blend that up. Try that with any other blender. Seriously, because I don't see anybody who jams pack their smoothies like I do. And if somebody does, somebody send me a link. Send it to my email. I'd love to see anybody who makes a smoothie like this. Maybe I can learn something. I'm up for it. I'm down for it. All right, so Periodically, I like to stop the blender. A lot of the big chunks will go to the bottom and get all shredded in the blades. Start it again. Yep, I can hear it. Okay, so let's get some jars going and put this magical smoothie in. And when I say magical, would you call it magic if it does all these amazing things to your body? I know I would, because it does. Amazing. Okay, let's try this one more time. And let's try these lids actually. And let's start this one more time. Okay, so we're almost there. I want to show you the last magical ingredients because it really makes it the full multi-nutrient, multivitamin, everything you're going to want and need. And I'm going to put a little bit of hydrogen water in these jars just to enhance them even more. I already drank the water. My GI is now well hydrated because I drank it like 20, 30 minutes ago. Let it really get into my GI system. Cut a little bit like this. Okay, and this is how we're gonna get the chia in here. This is gonna be the secret. Let's see, this thing doesn't blow up in my face here. Sometimes it does when you open it when it's super full. Yeah, look at that. Like a baked cake. Mm-hmm. Look at this. Now this is nutrient heaven right here. This is nutrient powerhouse. No vitamins needed. Now that's crazy to say because I think we need all the vitamins and minerals and nutrients we can get. The question is, how do you get it? Same thing, just like hydrogen, just like water. The best way to clean it is not always what everybody's telling you. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Hydrogen chia seeds. Now I'm going to put them in here. Here we go. Good amount too. This stuff is so good. So much fiber. You guys want to hear? You know what? If you guys want to hear any of the stuff that something is good for, like what are the chia seeds good for, or what are the carrots good for, just comment and we'll go for it. Okay, let's blend that up. And these ingredients, we're going to shake them up a moment. Might even have to get a new one here soon. But these are the important ones right here too. Especially this one. This is the most important. When I say most important, I mean it because you just can't get this in food and it's so important for the body. Even scientists are still discovering those amazing things that this does. You definitely want this in your body. I do not take it in a pill. This is a liquid. And in its second best form, because number one is always going to be food, guys, but second best form, ionic. That's D3 with K2. And vitamin K is going to help with the absorption of vitamin D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, they say that, 5 drops is 5,000 IUs. I still have a hard time believing that, but it might be true. Most likely is, but this one right here, this is the one that people are using for like libido and testosterone, but also estrogen. It's good for men and women as far as their sex hormones, but it's good for bones and ligaments and brain health. Like really, I think it keeps you more sharp, your brain function. And that's boron. Again, second best form, ionic. Number one, food. And I did put those soaked raisins because they have natural boron in them too. This stuff's just been amazing. I'm very happy with it. And we're going to do that. And all it is a mineral, guys. This is how amazing the body is. It uses all sorts of this stuff. Now, this one, let me blend so much. This is not something that I would ordinarily buy. Thanks for all the thumbs up, by the way, guys. That's very kind of you. Let's see if we can get, well, if there's 11 people in here, we should be able to get 11 more, right? Maybe you have 22. Thanks for all that. It's free. It supports the channel. Appreciate it. It just shows a little bit of love, and it's free. Isn't that the best? You can actually show some love, but for free. Chlorophyll in its ionic form. Now, chlorophyll, obviously this normally comes from your greens typically, and this stuff is super dark green. Now, do you have to have this one in the smoothie? No. If I was a salesman, I'd be like, yes, you absolutely have to. You have to buy everything. No, you don't need chlorophyll per se, as far as a supplement. Obviously, you need the chlorophyll, but in your food, but that's just something that was given to me. And you know what? I enjoy it much more than I thought I would. But it's just not, I always try to have the absolute minimum. I want the absolute minimum stuff for my health. I do not want a cupboard full of pills and supplements. I do not want a house full of machines. I just want the most important things that are going to keep me healthy. And believe it or not, it's not that many. You need clean water. You need, well, you don't need the hydrogen, but if hydrogen's that one thing that, well, I personally think you do need it. It's almost like saying you don't need clean water. No, you need clean water and you need clean hydrogen if you want to supercharge your health. Let's just put it that way. And this is all my personal opinion, but the thing, I just seen hydrogen too much. Even when I did super healthy diet and everything that I tried to do, still wasn't enough without the hydrogen. Hydrogen was just that magic ingredient. It's probably the most magical ingredient almost of them all, but vitamin D is pretty important. It's right up there. Hemp hearts. This is almost like a multivitamin too. And again, food again. So, and boy, the amount of protein in this thing too. I mean, the protein conversation, that's just kind of ridiculous. It's so easy for me to get enough protein. My natto, my hemp hearts, everything else I put in there, just plain redonkulous. We can research that if you guys want. I do a lot of nuts and seeds, the walnuts. Now the last ingredient, because now we're pretty much here. We're pretty much now we can eat. Let me try it actually. Tastes good. I could put another banana in there, considering the bananas are getting kind of overripe. That's okay. I actually have to go buy some more. Okay. Let's look at some of your questions. Answer some of them. Last magic ingredient, hydrogen. It's another part of my discoveries. Inhaling the hydrogen while you eat really, again, takes things to a whole other level. Again, pretty shocking. Did not expect that. I would, again, recommend it has to be the right type of hydrogen, just in case you don't know a lot about it. I would definitely not use any hydrogen that uses like lye or sodium hydroxide or any chemical. And I would not be breathing that while I eat. That would be, well, honestly, it's not just a bad idea. It's just bad to use in general. In my personal opinion, I don't use any of those. No chemicals for making hydrogen. It's got to be clean, just like water. I will not use chemicals to purify my water like they do, the chlorine and whatever. But anyway, let me take out this earpiece. And now I can read your questions now that I'm done with this. Okay. Terry says, LOL, you certainly know how to work them scissors. I think if I tried what you do, my fingers would break. I know. Well, mine, I couldn't do it before either. My joints hurt. Now I can do them real hard. My fingers are so much better now. What do you think about organic figs? Yeah, I like them. Why wouldn't you like them? They're another wonderful fruit. A lot of health benefits, but just make sure. First of all, make sure that it's just figs. Like sometimes they add, like literally will add sugar to dried fruit. That's the first thing. But what I would do is I would soak them in water, or even better, hydrogen water if you have it, and then eat them that way. Because when they're dried, it's a problem. They pull water from your system. People don't seem to realize that. It's not good for digestion. Your GI requires a lot of water to digest food. In fact, let me see. Let me see if I can find some data for you. Okay, so water is vital for good health. Then why isn't anybody talking about the cleanest water, right? Water is part of what helps the body break down the processes of food digestion. So important. And it also helps prevent constipation, and it just helps move everything along. And that's what you want. When I move things along, you want to move, there's so much toxins and garbage in our body that needs to be moved out of there regularly. Thanks for the thumbs up. I just saw some people give some. This one's gonna be short today. I'm gonna get going soon. I'm gonna drink my smoothie here. Is dried natto okay? I think it will be hard to find that you use in my little city in Sweden. Well, what you have to do, Agneta, is find things that are local to you. Now, if you can't find natto, it's too bad, but try to find something else. Mostly fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds are gonna be some of your best bets. And you know, you can learn a lot about, I mean, you can read a lot about different fruits and vegetables, but figs, for example, are great. In fact, let's see. Let's just find out real quick. Okay, here's some foods that are high in, for example, boron. We were talking about boron. Raisins. Raisins are number one. Wow. Well, I already put them in there. And not only that, you soak them in the water, of course. I think most people can get raisins. That shouldn't be very hard. Try to get organic, obviously, and don't get anything that has added sugar. Wow, almonds have a lot of boron. Hazelnuts, apricots, look, even peanut butter. Brazil nuts, and walnuts, there you go, walnuts are pretty high on there. And even beans, specifically red kidney beans. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Prunes, cashews, dates, even wine. Wow, I wouldn't recommend drinking a ton of wine though to try to get your boron. Lentils, that's another bean. Chickpeas. Guys, beans are magical, let me just tell you. Peaches, celery, grapes, even honey. Wow, I use honey on the regular. Apples, pears, broccoli, carrots, orange, onions, potatoes, bananas. Well, that's awesome, but where the heck? I was looking for figs. Well, apparently raisins are also rich in potassium, high in fiber, high in magnesium, high in iron. Raisins are almost like a superfood. Wow. Okay. Is dried natto okay? Better fresh. Always better fresh. But who knows? Hey, Agneta, you can find it online in Japanese online supermarkets. There you go. But it is frozen. Will it work? Is what frozen? Natto? That's exactly what you want. They freeze the natto. You keep it in the freezer, and I rotate mine where I put it in the fridge at least 1 or 2 days before I'm going to use it, because then it has to thaw out. So that's how you do it. I guess what people don't realize is that natto is alive. So many live bacteria, so that's why they're frozen. Okay. Solomon says, hello, Mr. Hombre o Hidrogeno. Happy to see you live. Good to see you, my brother. Have a wonderful natto day. All right, you too. Internet Explorer says, random question, but it's 12 p.m. for me, RN. Is it too late for coffee? Well, it's funny. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I always get confused between 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. But obviously I think you're talking about noontime. I think you're talking about noon, unless you're talking about midnight. But if you're talking about noon, is 12 p.m., okay, so is noon too late to have coffee? Well, it's a tough question because according to data, the data would probably say yes. But coffee affects different people differently. That's the data too. So it would probably depend on you. And I don't, what time do you normally go to bed? I don't know. But I would say noon. Personally, I'm okay with it. I mean, I think I tend to drink coffee sometimes at 11 a.m., sometimes noon. I tend to, you know, but I try not to do it too late. It doesn't seem to help as far as with good deep sleep. But coffee, for me, I don't get hyped up. I don't even feel the caffeine. For me, I feel calmer when I have coffee. I sleep around 11 p.m. or midnight. I personally think that would be okay. But that's my personal opinion. I do think that making coffee properly, again, just like everything I talk about, from the water, the hydrogen, you know, the food. But coffee is another one. Like I said, coffee is a heavily sprayed crop. So many pesticides. You might as well be drinking a cup of pesticides. So I'm really big on buying it organic. I always like to get whole beans because when you grind them up, I believe there's certain properties that come out at that moment. That's why I put whole flax seeds. When you grind things up rather than a grind. When I get grinded coffee, it's just not the same. When it's whole bean, grind it myself, use the cleanest water, and then I put nothing in it other than just raw honey. You know, no creamers or garbage sugars or anything. You could really ruin your coffee with way too much sugary stuff. Coffee beans that are full of pesticides, like everything in Starbucks is non-organic, and probably a lot of coffee shops. And then you add other stuff like garbage dairy products or sugary stuff, or, you know, along with the chemicals. It's just crazy. You literally make this beautiful thing like coffee and ruin it. In my personal opinion, again, just my personal opinion. But I do think there's a lot of health benefits actually to coffee, but I think it depends on the individual, as I've seen data that it just, you know, data depending on the person. It's really weird how different people respond to it differently. But I will say, these are actual benefits of coffee that apparently have been proven. And one of them is you'll actually reduce your risk of diabetes. That's interesting. It helps you be obviously more, apparently it lowers the risk of a car accident. It's probably just because you're more, you're sharper. But I never felt like I needed the caffeine for that. Hydrogen makes me feel way sharper, getting me all my nutrients too. It gets me sharp. You know, like the brain health, like boron's good for the brain, for example. Interestingly enough, it says that it helps avoid kidney stones. Now, why? This is according to just one study, though. People who drank coffee were less likely to develop kidney stones. I'm going to assume it's because of the way that it's a diuretic. But it says because of its caffeine content, makes you pee more. There you go. See, that's what I mean. You flush stuff. This is why drinking a lot of water. Hydrogen really makes you move things along too. And I like the way that it helps affect the pH of the blood, which would be better even than coffee. But yes, it keeps really things moving, and I think that's something that's super awesome. And it flushes excess amounts. Now, so here's the thing about coffee. It flushes excess amounts of calcium and sodium, which, yes, can contribute to kidney stones. That's according to the research, and that's true. But it also flushes out other good stuff too. This is the reason that I load up on a lot of minerals and a lot of water before the coffee, you know, takes some of it out of me. Now, green tea has massive amounts of benefits. You could do that too. Interestingly enough, tea, wine, and beer are associated with a decreased risk of painful kidney stones. Now that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. And it's interesting because I love beer, but I almost never drink it because according to the data, it's like one of the worst alcohols you can drink. But I think if you treat your body right well over 90% of the time, and you treat yourself a little bit, because that's what I do. I treat my body really well over 90% of the time, and periodically I have little cheat days and little cheat things. Now, when I was sick and super strict, I didn't do that. But as I've gotten way better, I have. Terry says, can you look up about the sour cherry drink if you have time? I made a whole video about it. Did you see it? Numbnut says, thanks for all the thumbs up, by the way, guys. It always helps. And it's just nice of you. Numbnut says, I remember drinking 4 cans of Monster energy drinks throughout the day. Oh my goodness. Now that, okay, that I will tell you, I am not a fan of those type of drinks. You know, that really personifies your name there, Numbnuts. Because that is a bad idea. In fact, let's see here. Monster energy drink. I bet you they haven't even done any studies on this stuff, but let's see. What can it do? Wow. Apparently it has an effect on your nervous system too. Yes, it can cause, drinking that much will definitely cause dehydration. It can even cause heart complications, such as irregular heartbeat and even heart failure. Wow. Anxiety, making you feel nervous and jittery. I hate feeling anxiety. And then insomnia, where you're unable to sleep well. That would also drive me nuts. Let's see. So it does say that drinking energy drinks daily can lead to an increased risk of heart disease, just like I was saying, even high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, dehydration, which is definitely no good. But they also have high levels of sugar and artificial sweeteners like sucralose, along with the caffeine. That's not good. But you know what? I'm curious about sucralose. Let's see. Sucralose. Okay, so sucralose appears that it may increase blood glucose, which is not going to be good, by the way, and even insulin levels. Sucralose may negatively affect the very people who are using it to decrease their sugar consumption and stabilize blood glucose levels. This was from a study that was seen. This is why you need studies and get some good lab work. Let's see. Yep, it increased blood glucose levels and insulin levels while decreasing insulin sensitivity. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of sucralose. Wow, again, thanks for the thumbs up. I keep seeing you guys do that here and there. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let's see. Terry C says, yes, I did, and now I have some. It's very nice. Oh, you have the apothecary, Terry? LOL, numbnuts, too funny. I know 4 cans, dude. Timotheus says, I drank hydrogen for the first time a couple days ago, and 5 minutes later, boom, I was on the toilet. There you go. And you know why? This is, well, I'm not saying that this is a claim or whatever. I'm just telling you that my observation is free radicals are forms of oxygen. So they're they call them oxidative stress, but they're what are like ROS, reactive oxygen species. And when you take in pure hydrogen, and this is the difference obviously between pure hydrogen and something like Brown's gas. And that's why I'm not really a fan of Brown's gas, plus there's no real medical data to show that it's really any good. So when you have pure hydrogen and you have a form of oxygen, and when they combine, they turn to water. And this not only can appears to maybe help hydrate the body, but really gets in neutralizing these free radicals, but it really seems to get things moving. And yes, you got to go to the toilet, and I think that's a very good thing. You want things to move out of you. This is what your body's trying to do, is push all this toxic crap out of you. I want to know, Terry C., if you had the apothecary and what your experience was, because I fell in love with that stuff. I really enjoyed it. Okay, Numbnut says, wow, that's crazy. I do remember the shakes in my hands after chugging it. Oh boy. What's really crazy is that I was able to sleep 4 hours after my last can. Now that may just be because some people respond to the caffeine differently and some people can still sleep while on it. But I'm telling you right now, dude, those things, in my personal opinion, are extremely bad for you and maybe even literally dangerous. I am not a fan. You can find other ways. There are other beverages you could even make yourself. They're so easy. And yeah, I would recommend stopping that stuff, dude. That stuff's so expensive. It's so expensive, and it's just, it's not good for you in so many ways. Unless you're trying to hurt yourself. I mean, if you're trying to do that, then I would say that's the right thing to do. You might as well just drink Coca-Cola and Monsters. Okay. Numbnut says, I guess my caffeine tolerance is really high. Yeah, it could be. I try to limit mine. I only typically allow myself like 1 cup of coffee maximum, usually a day. Terry C says, I swear it made me sleep better last night, the cherry drink. Yeah, absolutely. Apparently it has melatonin naturally from food. See, I'm always trying to get everything from food. Internet Explorer says, hydrogen inhalation before bed makes me sleep like a baby. And that is something that I've seen, heard, and experienced. And I don't think there's a lot of data on it, but I've seen it work with people with insomnias. And I have my own theories as to why it works, which I won't say because I won't even go into why I won't say it, but I won't tell you. The point is it works. Or appears to work. Let's put it that way. Okay. Only had it for 2 nights. But is it the apothecary, Terry? because I don't even know if they sell it there where you're at, or did you buy some other kind? Because I'm curious if it's the concentrate, if it's just the juice, like in what form did you take it, is what I'm curious. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, I'm almost done for today. This is really delicious. But Internet Explorer, I mean, if you want to sleep better, obviously, I probably wouldn't do the coffee or the tea. But if you don't have any issues when you drink it at noon, by the time you go to bed, then I think it would be, you know, I think it'd be fine. It's another kind of concentrate. Well, just make sure when you read the label, is it like a syrup or is it like watery? Because sometimes when they make them from concentrate, I'm not really quite sure what kind of water they're adding to it. That makes me suspicious, especially after some newfound data that I found, where the one that I use is like syrup. It is just a pure concentrate, which means that it just came from the cherries themselves. They didn't add water or anything. I want to get some more smoothies. Okay, almost done here. Hey guys, going soon. So, any last questions? 100% Montmorency cherry. But is it like, that makes it sound like it would be more liquidy, like a juice. I don't know. We could just let it go. I feel like we're going too far into this. It's thick. Oh, okay. Do you add water to it? Or do you just drink it like that? Or just tell me the brand, I'll look it up. But anyway, back to coffee. One study shows that you remember more stuff. So let's see here. Yeah, better memory, interesting. Mostly because it appears the way that it affects certain neurotransmitters. Interesting. Good for memory. Cool. Reduce your risk of liver cancer. Now, did you know that? I gotta tell you, I did not know that one. I did not know coffee is good for liver cancer. Active cherry, that's what it's called? I doubt it, but let's see. I mean, I believe you, but I mean, I'm not gonna find a product saying active cherry, did I? Oh, there it is. That's capsules though. Concentrate, here we go. Okay, so here it is. First of all, 100% concentrated Montmorency cherry juice. See, there's the problem. And I'll tell you why. Let's see here. Let me just make sure before I speak. Okay, it's origin of USA, that's fine. I do not, doesn't look organic. That's not good because I wouldn't want to spray. You got to spray these things. 100% concentrated cherry juice. So that's a cherry juice. Okay. But hey, that's still cool. But it's probably not quite the same. I've had cherry juice, and it's great and all. But when I tried that apothecary, oh my goodness, it wasn't even a product that I was gonna buy. It was suggested to me, and somebody who just really wanted me to try it, and I was like, come on. And so I did, and it was extremely impressive. I think I'm losing my internet. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of sea moss. Yeah, I mean, sea moss can have, you know, the calcium and magnesium, but so does all this stuff. And I'm just not a fan, and I don't want to buy more stuff. As far as the black seed oil, I think it's okay. I think you could use it if you really wanted to, but I don't like seed oils. So I'm kind of not a fan either. I tend to stay away from seed oils. In fact, let's see here. I think if you use it for a specific reason, but then be done with it, you know, then I guess maybe it'd be okay. But let's see here. Black seed oil, let's see how it affects the body. Yeah, I mean, it helps the immune system, fight cancer, prevent pregnancy. That's interesting. Reduce swelling, and can lessen an allergic reaction. Kind of acts like a antihistamine. So I mean, if it helps you with certain things, like I said, like that, but would I use it like on the regular? Probably not. That's just me. I just want to give my body all the nutrients it needs and let my body do what it needs to do. Well hydrated, all the nutrients. And then of course hydrogen, because hydrogen is just ridiculously magical. And beyond that is, you know, avoid a lot of bad stuff. See, that's the other thing. It kind of shocks me when people buy certain things for their health, but they continue to do things that are bad for their health. I think you get way more benefit eliminating things that are bad for you than trying to take certain things that are supposed to be good for you. But I do think that there are benefits to black seed oil, though, just so you know. I just think that it's not something to be overused and blah, 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 you know. I mean, they say it helps with like type 2 diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, allergies, but all this stuff, honestly, obesity, all this, I mean, hydrogen does all this, and I don't have to do a seed oil for it, you know. High blood pressure, I've already seen hydrogen get rid of that stuff. Digestive disorders, I've seen hydrogen do that already. Boosting the immune system, I've seen hydrogen do that. Anti-inflammatory, hydrogen already does that. Fighting infections, I've seen hydrogen do that too. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I don't know why I would need to add another thing, but I have tried it, just so you know. I have tried it. Now, there are things in black seed oil that are technically toxic. They have something called melanthin, and in larger amounts, so that's why I said, you know, depending on how long you use it, what kind of dosing you're using. Obviously, if you have an allergic reaction, that's not going to be very good. It does appear to actually slow blood clotting, which can increase your risk for bleeding or whatever. So if you have bleeding disorders or if you're taking certain medications, you know, there could be some not great stuff, but in some ways it could be potentially beneficial. So you just have to be cautious with it too. So yeah, that's what I could say. I want the minimum. You know, I went through that stage where I tried everything and it was too much. I didn't even think it was good for me. Does hydrogen help with allergies? I believe there's data on it, actually. My simple answer would most likely be, well, again, not medical advice, but I believe so. But I will say that I've seen it. I've known people with allergies who use hydrogen and their allergies significantly got better. Like there was one guy who was so bad, I think he got like 90% improvement, which was a lot for him. And it does, in the Nature journal, hydrogen attenuates allergic inflammation by reversing energy metabolism pathways. So there you go. That's pretty, that was from Nature, Nature journal. They're a very big publication. They only like to put information that's very, very accurate. National Institute of Health actually seems to indicate that there's a correlation between oxidative stress and allergic inflammation and how hydrogen can potentially help with that. So yeah, and there's a ton of stuff. There's so much stuff out here. What's funny is when I see, oh God, when I see these things out here, I'm not gonna name the brand. Immediately there are these brands who are trying to promote their products saying that it's hydrogen. It's not even hydrogen, it's Brown's gas. And these particular ones, again, I'm not gonna name any companies, but they do use the chemicals to make them. And it's just, I've known too many people, it just bugs me when I see people getting hurt when they're trying to improve their health. It's really sad. Anyway, so yes, in my opinion, yes, I do think it could help with that. Northern Yeti. You can do the same thing with black seeds as you do with your walnuts, flax, buy them whole and grind them. That's a good idea. There you go. I think a healthy gut does as much for allergies as anything else. I would agree with that. Hydrogen water is amazing for that too. For your gut microbiome, like just off the charts. I can't even believe some of the stuff that I've witnessed. The people who can't believe it are the people who got the benefits. That's why they contacted me. They contact me back and they're like, you're not going to believe my story. And they tell me this story of how they had this, you know, like celiac disease or Crohn's disease, all these gut issues for years, like 20, 30 years, thousands of dollars, many doctors later, nobody could ever fix it. And boom, clean hydrogen water did it. And they were just like, what? Even I was shocked. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. This has all been stuff throughout the years. That's why I know so many of these things now. Let's see here. Northern Yeti, I think a healthy gut, blah, blah, blah. Does a lot for energies, does for me anyway. And we know that hydrogen helps the gut. Yep, there you go. Numbnut says, if you had the money and time, would you do a hydrogen retreat to help people reset their health and detoxing their body with clean hydrogen water, smoothies? You know, I mean, I would open up some super awesome center, and I would probably, I won't say where I would do it, but there would be specific locations that I would want. And I have even more stuff. I mean, hydrogen water that's super clean with the smoothies would definitely be part of it, but there'd be more to it. It depends how bad the person is. But yeah, if I was super crazy rich and I could get a whole team and just help people heal for free, oh man, I'd love that. Wouldn't it be awesome if the government gave me money? They're like, here, we're just gonna go ahead and give this to you so you can help people heal. That'd be amazing. But again, no medical claims, no medical advice, guys. I also would use the money to create food that the world's never seen. There's ways to grow food that nobody does. It's an idea that I have, and I would love to see that carried out. Food that is super healthy for the body. Okay, Earthman, do you have anyone contacting you about hydrogen with dry fasting? Dry fasting, no, but that's something that I would think could be really good, where you would only inhale the hydrogen. Now, normal fasting, yes. There's definitely nothing scientific, but there is some, see, I look at other data to support, like when I'm looking for something where there's no studies, for example, and I'm not gonna go into all the details, it just takes a while to explain it all to you guys, but let's just put it simply put. Simply put, hydrogen, water, while fasting, I personally think will be, it's amazing. I've already seen it done like this before. But when they finally study it, it's going to be, I think it's a revolutionary way of fasting. It's going to take fasting to a whole other level. Northern Yeti, anyone here use grounded bed sheets? Mine make me sleep like a teenager again. I verified the ground connection, so I don't think it's placebo. Well, okay, guys, I got to get rolling. Thanks for hanging out. And, oh, wait. Coffee, why does it reduce your risk for liver disease? Wow. I didn't know liver cancer. I'm sorry, liver cancer. I didn't know liver cancer is the second leading cancer that results in death. Wow. I didn't know that. And the sixth most frequently diagnosed cancer in the world. Oh, okay, I see. According to one study, people who drank 2 cups of coffee per day were 43% less likely to develop it than those who stayed Java-free. And I think this is, again, because it gets things moving. You know, this is so important. That's why, have you seen how hydrogen moves your blood? Oh my goodness, go to my video number 68. It's unbelievable. It's even hard to believe. Researchers believe it may be due to certain compounds, maybe certain liver enzymes. They don't really know what it is, of course. Something might be connected actually to diabetes. You know, diabetes shortens your lifespan, so. Let's see, you'll work out harder. Okay, I don't know. You'll help reduce the risk of melanoma. Really? Coffee seems to be good for cancer, huh? Interesting. Okay. You'll boost your mood. That always sounds great. Harvard study. You'll lower your risk of multiple sclerosis. That's only according to one paper. You'll save your teeth. Really? Coffee may dull your pearly whites a bit, but it also might help keep them in your mouth. Really? Research from Boston University found that people who drank 1 or more cups of coffee each day had fewer teeth.
with bone loss, not fewer teeth. Therefore, you won't lose them because you're already gone. I'm just kidding. Fewer teeth with bone loss. Interesting. The hallmark of periodontal disease. I bet you, I saw a whole thing about hydrogen for oral health. It was pretty amazing. But coffee seems to be amazing too for that, which can cause your teeth to fall out than those who drank less. Interesting, interesting. They also think it's a lot about to do with antioxidants in coffee. That could potentially help with anti-inflammatory properties and blah, blah, blah. Okay. You'll protect your brain and your heart. Look at that. You'll live longer. Really? New study published from Internal Medicine, Annals of Internal Medicine, show that those who drank 1 to 3 cups of coffee per day were 30% less likely to die. Okay, yummy. All right, guys, well, with that being said, that was it. Really? Wow. Okay, interesting stuff. And Earthman says, have a great Sunday, Hydrogen Man, LOL, fewer teeth. Oh, by the way, what is coffee spelled backwards? Have you guys ever heard of this joke? Coffee spelled backward is EFOC. I just know that I don't give EFOC until I've had my cup of coffee. Okay, just somebody's joke here online. All right, see you later, numbnuts. See you later, Earthman. By the way, I love your name, numbnuts. Keep up with that monster drink. Then you really probably will experience the name of your name. Okay, with that being said, have a good one, guys.